Hi, everybody. I'm Tiffany,
And I'm Katie.
and we've known each other for what? How long now?
Shoot, years.
Well, Jay posted that thing. It was like
That was
3 years.
3 years ago. And
Yeah,
that was kind of when we first started interacting, wasn't it?
yeah,
I feel like it's been longer than that. But yeah, so three years, probably a little more.
yeah. Like around 3 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
We met because we both lived on the island of Kauai.
It's my coordinates. You probably can't
Oh, I
see
love
it,
that.
but I have the coordinates of Kauai on my necklace.
I love that. I used
Yes.
to have a necklace that like I got in Kauai and it said Kauai and it was just like this like gold plate, but it rusted because I wore it
Yes.
like every day.
I've already had to replace the chain because the chain I had was gold plated. It wasn't actual gold.
Yeah.
So for Christmas, my mom replaced it for me because I
So
wear it
sweet.
nonstop.
Yeah. Yeah. It sucks. Like I'm like, okay, now I understand why, like you never want to spend the amount of money to like
Actually, you just want to get the gold plated, not the actual gold. But it's worth it.
yeah. But yeah, we met in Kauai when we were both going through a whole different transition in our life.
Definitely.
We were very much into socializing,
Partying, drinking.
partying,
Wow.
um, hustling. It was a hustle out there,
Definitely.
and just trying to find like bonds with people. Also, I think,
Mhm.
and yeah, we've recently been reconnecting again because I came back to my hometown in Cali. You moved out to
I
Cali.
ended up moving to California, which was her hometown. So
Yeah,
that was even random
yeah.
in the first place.
And it's crazy that you moved to like you didn't move to like LA. You like
To
came back.
Hermosa.
Yeah, you were in Hermosa, and now you're in Marina Del Rey. You're so close. Even though we haven't seen each other.
Well, we have been on lockdown for the
Yeah,
past 2 months or
yeah.
so. So that's but we
And
still
we both don't have cars yet. Do you
dang, you still don't have a car?
know?
I don't have a car either because I used to walk to work. I worked a mile from my work, so it just worked out.
Yeah, I still don't have a car.
Me neither.
Yep. We both sold our cars in Kauai, right?
Yeah,
Which
before I moved back.
was
Oh, I had that black Saab that was so cute, little hatchback.
I had my RAV4 that I shipped out from here, and it was my favorite car ever. And I keep imagining the girl who bought it from me like driving all over Kauai, and I'm like, why did I do that?
Why is it not me?
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so it would have been so much in my head. It was cheaper to buy a new car compared to ship it back, but it was actually cheaper to ship my car back than, than to buy a car. But you live and you learn.
You learn.
Yeah. And yeah, we've been reconnecting because we've been just well, how would you explain what we're going through now? We've been stepping into this journey the past.
Rediscovering ourselves, maybe?
Yeah, we've been, I think, not even rediscovering ourselves, we're like stepping into ourselves,
Stepping into our power.
to our authentic selves, our
Yeah.
power. And we're both 32, right?
Yep.
And yeah, we've been reconnecting because we've been talking about what led us here, and we just kind of wanted to record this conversation and share it with the public because we feel like we have so much to share with the world, and we feel like so many people can connect to our stories
Yeah.
and to what we're even going through right now. We feel like people don't talk about this part of their journey. It's always before and
Exactly.
after, but we really want to talk about the in between.
The transition of, yeah.
Yeah, the uncomfortable. We're in that transition where we know our goals. We see what we want to
We
have,
know what we want, but it's
but we're like slowly getting over there.
navigating it too, I guess.
So yeah, let's kind of dive into it. See, we can kind of both go into our backstory. So
Yeah, man, that's a lot. I feel like, I guess I just,
we can start by both saying, well, we're both sober now.
yes, that's a
And
huge, huge thing.
yeah, that's a huge part of like us finding our clarity, and kind of also we really want to help people end the self-sabotage in their life.
Yes.
And yeah, we can both kind of talk about, because I mean, we kind of have different things with our sobriety. You know, you have the Adderall. Do you want to kind of get into that?
Um, well, I guess just with the sobriety, Tiffany, you were actually one of the inspirations for me because I've tried to stop like so many times before. Like I've done like 3 or 4 dry Januaries, like saying, oh, this time I'm stopping for good. Like this is it. I'm done drinking because I've been through a lot in that area, which maybe we'll get get into on a later date because just my drinking history would be like a whole other episode.
Separate episode.
So we won't get into that, but so just getting to that, I stopped in the beginning of this year, January 1st, and I think you had already been like 40 days or maybe even further along than that.
I mean, I'm 8 months, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I stopped in September.
Oh, wow. So even more. And I'm 121 days
Oh my
today,
gosh.
which is exciting. But yeah, I've always tried to stop and I wanted to stop. And I guess this New Year's, I finally, like, I'd been seeing Tiffany's post, like how good she's been feeling and just mental clarity and just energy and like everything she was saying, it was like stuff that I wanted. And especially like the nights that I was going out and drinking, it was more than just like a hangover now. Like we're 32. So, I mean, I feel like once you get out of your 20s, like hangover is just going to happen like anyway. But these are like bad. Like I would be in bed like all day, like till like 7 o'clock at night. And I was just like, I would miss my Pilates classes. I would miss like my things I had plans with my friend. And I'm like, I'm so sick of this. So like, finally on January 1st, New Year's, I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm gonna do dry January. Like, I just told everyone I was doing dry January because I didn't want to like tell people like that. Like, I was thinking about going to AA and I wanted to be sober, which is kind of ironic. So like, I kind of like a lot of people don't know actually. So like the fact that I'm sharing this or that we're talking about this, like I still kind of kept it behind the scenes. But I'm kind of done with that. Like, I think it's good that we talk about it and get it out there, and like hopefully we can kind of connect with other people that are out there going through the same thing or maybe kind of debating like going, not like being sober but like just to stop drinking. So I think that's one of the reasons we wanted to get together and talk about not even only our transitions that we're going through in life, but sobriety is like a big part of that. So just putting it out there and like letting other people know like we're here, we are going through it, we've gone through it. So yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons we wanted to do these little conversations with Katie and Tiffany.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like same though. Like I have talked about it on my social media. I've posted like my anniversaries, you know, like oh, it's been like 6 months, and I think I put on my birthday, I was like
that was bothering me, sorry.
I think on my birthday I put like a post about like how my gift to myself was like not drinking for the past, like I think that was like my 6 month mark. But besides that, I haven't really like talked about it a whole lot.
Yeah.
So I think it's exciting to open up about this, and I've been seeing a lot of people post online saying like asking in a couple Facebook groups I'm in, are there any other women who are curious about being sober or who are just like haven't been drinking as much. So I do think that there's this transition, and
Yeah.
it's like this weird kind of thing because I feel like it was never an issue. Like I was never like going to the market and buying alcohol and going
Hmm.
home and like drinking.
Drinking by yourself and
Yeah. And I wasn't like, I remember I worked with a girl years ago and she had been sober for like 10 years and she was like, yeah, I would wake up and down a bottle of Jack Daniels in the shower. And I was like, well, damn, I'm not that, like, I
yeah.
haven't done anything like that. But I do think every time I drank to get drunk.
Yep.
I didn't just like, oh, let's have a nice cocktail at dinner and then,
We'll go home afterwards.
yeah, it was like if I was gonna start drinking, it's so that it's gonna be all or nothing,
Yeah.
and I would just feel like total crap the next day. I probably would look at my phone and see that I messaged either
Who you
someone,
met? How many times?
yeah, someone that I was like starting something with, or someone that I had a past with.
Yes.
And I would ruin it. Like I would always have regrets, and then normally it was like, you talk to whoever you went out with and you're like, what stupid things did I
What
say?
happened last night? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And so I just kind of felt like I was in a point in my life, and I think you too, where like we're stepping into this other side into like who we, everything we want in our life, and that was no longer a part of us anymore.
hmm.
And when we did drink, it just felt even more awful than, because I do see like, I think age is a factor, but I watch, shows where like people are way older and they're just getting like hammered and they're fine the next day. But I feel like our souls were just like done,
Yeah.
and so we were feeling it on such a deeper level because our souls inside were like, we're done with this. Like
Yeah.
this is no longer a part of us anymore. And I think we would make a lot of progress, and then it was like drinking was just like a
Taking us
way to
back.
like, yeah. So now, I mean, even just 121 days and even 8 months, I feel like I have to feel everything 10 times more.
Yes.
And
Oh my God. The feelings, the emotions, like,
yeah, and me and you have been talking about this too. Like we have to face our fears head on,
yep.
and we have no excuses now. Like there's no excuse for anything. There's not like we can't. Yeah, we don't have an excuse to like stop us from anything now. So
Yeah.
we have to just like push through that fear head on, which is part of us doing this first recording.
Huge fear.
We both wanted to do this in the beginning of the week, and
And
like,
we kept moving the dates back. And
yeah,
then finally I was like, no, on May 1st, we have to do this. Like, even if we just get on and say hi and just like,
yeah, exactly.
go from there. But this was like us just making the decision to change and then like taking action on that. So,
Yeah. So yeah, we want to really share this journey with everybody watching and listening. You know, this we want to share our journey of this transition that we're going through, and yeah, we kind of both we're basically like party girls that have transitioned into, wanting to channel that same energy into fulfilling our dreams and
making the
like,
world a better place.
yeah, and changing people's lives and using what we've gone through to help people who have gone through the same, and also becoming boss babes.
Gonna happen.
sometimes those cliche words make me want to cringe, but
Yeah.
but it's also like it makes you feel really empowered too.
It's true.
So yeah, so like we kind of both been taking different steps. We've both been working.
Hmm.
I worked with a coach for a couple months, and now I've just been filming a bunch of content to get over my fear of that. And I invested in some like camera equipment, and
Yep.
then you've been doing these like webinars.
I've been doing all these webinars. I just did this Mind Hack
Yeah,
program with David Bayer. It's a 7-day program about just getting rid of your limiting beliefs and using your mind to work through that. So that's been really cool.
yeah,
I've learned so much from just that. So yeah, we're just like absorbing everything we can right now because we're all quarantined right now. So we've kind of been on lockdown, and we just have both been like diving into what we want to do. And so
yeah. And it's been amazing too because I was supposed to travel during this lockdown,
yes,
and
you wouldn't have even been here.
yeah, and instead of going and traveling and getting distracted by the traveling, which even though every time I've traveled, I'm like, I'm going to do this and this and this, I never do any of it because I just get so fascinated by wherever I am. And this has given me the time and energy to lay a foundation down and really go after all the things I've been putting off for so long. And you got laid off from your job.
Yeah, had I been still working, I would still be working like, I was in the hospitality industry, so I'm always working like crazy hours, like 60, 70-hour weeks. Like when I was managing restaurants, it was like 80-hour weeks, which was just like normal. And when you're working that much, when you have like a day off, I would just want to sleep.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be able to like better myself or like meditate or set goals, and I wouldn't even think of it. So like this time has given me an opportunity to kind of, what do I want for my life? Like what greater purpose do I have? Like what are my passions? And just gain clarity around that. So
Yeah. And
been
you don't
awesome.
even, and you made the decision, you don't even want to go back to that industry,
No, I'm
which,
done with it.
yeah, which is
Um,
huge. And, yeah, I've been kind of transitioning from, or trying to transition from being known as this like fitness
yes,
person,
this is huge too for you. Tell me about that a little.
to helping people on a deeper level, and really sharing everything I've gone through. And just I realized that my passion is no longer helping people achieve a body, but it's helping people you know, achieve what they want to feel from the inside, and then using exercise as a complement to that.
Exactly. The more mind, body, spirit approach instead of just like the body.
Yeah. And I feel like that's part of being in your 30s too. I see so many people on, it's so funny because I joined TikTok, and I see,
You did.
yeah, and I see all these like 20-year-olds and teenagers, and they post these videos like, how to get your dream abs in 2 weeks, and it's like literally them just doing like the same plank stuff or whatever, crunches 2 weeks straight. And it makes me laugh because number one, I just want to like I feel like it's funny because when you're a teenager and you're in your 20s, you can do anything for like 2 weeks and you're gonna look amazing. Like you can like not eat carbs for 2 weeks and
Yes.
like lose 10 pounds, or you can like run for 2 weeks and you're gonna be 10 pounds lighter. And then your 30s come, and your metabolism isn't the same, and just nothing is the same. And I think also you just reach this like inner wisdom of you no longer care so much about what you look like on the outside. And I feel like living in Kauai really helped bring out that side of me, because I feel like growing up in California,
Oh
I don't
gosh.
know your like childhood experiences, but I feel like growing up here and being surrounded, especially growing up in South Bay where it's all tall, beautiful volleyball player type body types, and everyone is just like, everyone looks like Barbies out here. And I was like, I remember like growing up, I just felt like I'm so short and I'm so like muscular because I played sports and dance, and I just felt so different. And
Mhm.
I felt like when I was in my 20s, I dyed my hair platinum blonde and I wore so much makeup, and my hair was like down to here, and I wore like the tightest clothes ever to like try and show every inch of my curves, and just trying to like fit this mold.
Yeah.
And when I moved out to Kauai, it was just like all about being all natural, and I like didn't wear makeup ever, maybe like a little bit here and
I
there.
didn't even have a hair dryer.
Yeah, same. I didn't have. I think I brought a like hair curler, and I just never used it.
Never. I had a straightener, but I would never use it. Like, you didn't need it. Like, you just would air dry your hair and
Yeah, even if I did straighten my hair or like curl it, it would literally just go back
yeah.
to like like it was just pointless. And I remember when I moved out there, I brought all these like nice dresses, and in my head I was like, I'm gonna get invited to this like big
Yes.
wedding, and then like
You
this
didn't need
event, and then all you end up wearing is like bikini top and shorts, and not even like you have like one pair of sandals that get ripped up, and
Yeah, it didn't even matter.
yeah,
Like,
and it just like, and then I think also people really celebrate different body, like there's no like ideal body there. Everybody is like happy being different.
mhm.
And so I think that really helped in just being okay with who I am inside. And I don't know if like that it had that effect on you, or how like your body image journey has been, but yeah, I think
I actually gained a lot of weight when I was there because I was drinking a lot.
yeah, I
So,
actually did too. I look at photos, and I was for sure 20 pounds heavier.
oh yeah, I was probably the most, I mean, I was so happy because I loved being there and I loved the people there and it's beautiful. But then, like, on a deeper level, I think because I was drinking so much, it's like, was I really happy? So yeah, it's,
It was so weird though, because in my case, I was working out probably more than I've ever worked out, because I was like constantly teaching, and then on top of that, I would like go to the gym for hours and do my,
yeah, you would.
and then I would hike for like an hour after, and but I think like the drinking on top of being tired, so tired from like trying to balance like partying and working.
Yeah, working late. I worked super late, especially when I was at well, Trees and Rob's. But yeah, just working late. So it was just a different lifestyle.
Totally. I
Um,
mean, I remember too, like when I lived North Shore, I would
mhm.
have to teach at 6 a.m. in Lahui, and I would have to wake up at like 5 a.m.
That's so
like
crazy.
get there in time. So I just feel like, yeah, I was just so tired. I think I just messed my whole body up, and
Hmm.
um
Sleep is definitely important. So
but yeah, I feel like it really helped with just embracing like who I am, and not, and then it allowed me to come back here and not feel so much
that's
like
awesome.
oh shit, everyone here is so perfect. And
That's awesome. I love that did that for you.
yeah, yeah, it's interesting. But what else was I had a thought in my head. I just forgot it. What else has been going on for you?
Not a whole lot. Like, I think my roommate probably thinks I'm crazy because I literally am like in my little makeshift, like I'm like sitting on the ground with my little office and I just have been just training and doing like my workshops and my modules, and like I'll like leave like for water or for coffee or for for like my protein shakes, and then I come back in my room and I'm just like working all day. So she's probably like thinks I'm
I feel
crazy,
like
but
it's interesting that I think another thing that me and you were talking about is that there's kind of like two types of people right now.
yes.
There's like the people who are, not working and they're like, okay, I'm just gonna like spend all day watching TV and, eating and like just like lounging around, which is fine because those people deserve that time too. But then what has happened with me and you is
Is the opposite.
something like this quarantine almost like lit a fire in our butt.
Yes, it really has.
And we've had this like drivenness that we haven't had in a long time, and it's like a different drivenness compared to when we've worked for other people, or even compared to like when I had my fitness studio, because this drivenness is like fueled by our true passion and purpose. And yeah, like I feel like now it's so weird because I can't imagine. I don't know if you feel like this, but I'm like, how was I even living before?
I was totally thinking that. I was just like, because 3 months ago, I mean, a lot of this I think was fueled from becoming sober. Like it just made me realize my passions and wake up more clear. But I don't know how, like, I wasn't thinking all of this before. Like, you're even like learning this stuff, like about your mind and your thoughts and like your actions and your decisions. Like,
Yeah.
it's like blowing my mind. And I'm like, there's no way I could ever go back. It's like, I want to learn more, and then I want to help teach other people the same thing.
Even like the ideas we've thought about together, and just even like the content I've been filming and stuff, I'm like, what was I doing before?
Yeah.
Like, I'm seriously been thinking back, and I'm like, I'm so confused what I was doing every day. Like, was I literally doing that? I literally think I was thinking all of this stuff every day and just doing nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because how we even like got reconnected is I think you made a post, or maybe you even like texted me, or I reached out to you saying like, oh, I want to like transition into coaching, like I've just been really thinking about things lately, and you responded with the same thing, saying like you want to just kind of veer out of not just fitness and also do more like spiritual and like coaching as well, and more like self-help stuff. And so when we connected on the phone, finally, we literally had like a 3.5 hour phone conversation. I was on my roof like pacing. She was like going for a walk. She had no idea she was walking for like 3 hours.
I walked for like 3.5 hours while we were on the phone, and it happened to be like 100 degrees, like the hottest day in LA. And I came back like I had just walked the Sahara Desert.
But we're just spitting out ideas left and right, and just like all of like.
When we were like trying to get off the phone, we like couldn't. We like had more and more.
One more thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like my vocal cords were sore. My mom tried to call me after, and I'm like, I can't talk.
But we just like completely felt like it was like insane. Like we just like, and even now when we're talking and like every conversation we've had since, we're just like on the same level.
Yeah.
About everything, and we
don't even have to talk. We just like know.
Yeah, and it's so exciting because I think we are both like hoping to kind of meet someone we can maybe do things with, and then it just like ended up, it just like all has happened so perfectly, like so like
crazy.
I just made up a word, but
yeah, I don't even know what you said. I was like trying, because I was thinking something and I was looking over here to read it to you, and so I completely missed what you just said.
What was serendipitously?
That's serendipitous is the word.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like there's that movie, and
serendipity. Oh,
yeah, it's all about like fate. So
yeah, so we're excited. This was our first step. So I think once you take the first step is the really important part. So like overcoming that fear.
wanted to we wanted to give a little bit of our backstory, but I think we still have so much to dive into with that. And then, like we said, we can make a backstory like a completely different thing.
Gosh.
And then we kind of touched over our aha moment that, really kind of led us on this new transition. And I think what's important is that we aren't letting our past, we're not being a victim to it anymore, and we're not trying to block it out either. We're
Hmm.
really trying to show like that makes us who we are,
Exactly.
and that makes us like it's our reason, it's our why. And I
Yeah.
think so many people who have had dark times in their past, they just want to like completely block it out. Like it never happened. I'm super positive now. I'm this like light now, um and then it's still inside,
Yeah.
and then their shadows come up and they don't want to face them. And I think like it's really important what we're doing is we're still, and we've had like a couple days where we kind of feel like in a funk.
Yep.
I think it's like our shadows coming back up and trying to hold us back, but we're really trying to like feel it and like let ourselves feel it. And we might let ourselves have a day where we're like,
Which is
okay,
the
today
worst.
we're just
Yeah.
like not able to do anything, but that's okay, but like after we get through that, we're like, no, we're using it as our fuel now.
Yep.
And we're like acknowledging it, but we're using it as a part of us to step into like, what we really want to be and all the things we're trying to achieve. But yeah, I think it's just important to note because I think so many people they they just kind of block out their past, and we're not afraid to really talk about it,
Yeah.
and we're not afraid to acknowledge that we're still not where we want to be, but
But we'll get
we
there.
yeah, we'll get there, and we've come so far.
Hmm.
And so many people aren't even brave enough, like so many people aren't brave enough to just take these first steps that we've been doing.
Yes.
And so
That's
many people aren't brave enough to even become sober. Like that takes such bravery, because you have to truly, I think a lot of people become sober because they want to like feel healthier, or they want to like um or they're like you said, like the dry January, like, oh, let me just take a break and like see how I feel. But I think it takes like huge bravery to become sober, because you're like, I'm done with sabotaging my life.
yeah.
And I think that when you get to that point, like you're just like done.
Yeah, I had no option. I was like, I am not going back.
Yeah.
Like, gosh.
And I
I
think
mean,
that that's the problem with a lot of people. I think a lot of people relapse because they're not becoming sober for exactly the right reasons, or because they feel like they have to, but they're not truly like getting to the root cause of like, okay, why do I drink? Or like what am I trying to like numb myself from?
yeah, that's a huge, huge part of it was the numbing. Like, I noticed every time I like was like nervous or like angry or like I would always like result to drinking.
Yeah,
And so that's super hard to work through, especially the first 30 days, like
totally.
30 to 60, but those first 30 days, like I was feeling so many emotions. I was so emotional and I was just like, why am I feeling this? Like I'm not used to feeling like sad or like
Yeah,
that
totally.
was super hard to work through, but like you do it, like you get through it obviously with a lot of help, but
Yeah. I think also a big thing is I think when you're going like the first 30 days, you're also kind of having like flashbacks of a lot of things too.
withdrawals.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, it's a interesting journey, but I think that I definitely have like I can't believe it took me to like 32. I mean, actually I was still 31, so but still like I look at like I'm like how the last like 10 years how did I not like you said I had moments like you where it'd be like a month or two, but then I think for me also I always thought my personality was better
And you
if
were drinking.
yeah, because I tend to kind of I think I kind of have like a socially awkward personality and and I'm not the best. Like if I'm around people that I'm comfortable with, I feel I'm like I could be so just like my true personality. But when I'm around people that I don't know,
It's like you need a drink to like
I feel like
help.
I just get really awkward and quiet because I just like, and then I feel like I end up just kind of taking in what everyone else is saying and sitting back and then when I would drink I would feel like oh I could be so outgoing and but then it's like then it makes you realize too because I think another thing that I've realized these past 8 months is like now I only surround myself with people that I'm able to just be myself around
Yes.
and it makes me realize like okay the reason why I had to drink before is because I was surrounding myself with people that I probably wouldn't be hanging out with,
Yes.
if it wasn't for the drinking.
That's huge.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So yeah, we're excited to just document our journey really. I
Yeah.
mean, and transformation. I mean, but really just the process of getting to where we want to go and
Yeah, and we're excited to take you guys all on that journey with us, and we're gonna try and make this a regular thing, right? Or not
yes,
even try. We are
we
making.
are. Oh my gosh, I just got so mad at you.
I know. I can't believe I said
I
that.
was like, wait.
No, we are making this a regular thing. We eventually want to do it in person. I mean, with in real
In
life.
person.
Yeah.
Yes, because we're Zoom calling right now, but
Right.
that's all we can do. But we weren't gonna let that stop us.
Yes, exactly. And yeah, we can't wait to just like dive into more and more with everybody. And
Yes.
this is our first episode. And
We still don't have a name, but it's okay.
yeah,
We're still just putting it out there.
so we would just like I think we want to like thank anyone who is listening to this and or watching this and comment and tell us where you're at in your life and what you feel like you want to hear more about and let's just keep this conversation going and we're
Yeah.
excited for episode 2.
Yes. Tune in tomorrow for
Yeah.
we still don't know yet, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, so thanks guys.
Yay. We did it.